lot of meat to pick off this bone. Biggest storyline heading into Super Wildcard Weekend. Peter, where'd he go?
I didn't know Kyle was going.
I'm going to Buffalo.
Okay,
yeah.
You didn't do the should I go, but you...
No, I just say it. I'm going. I want to go, and I'm going to go.
The weather is real.
I heard it's taking a turn. Like, people, I'm hearing these rumors I actually might be going to Cleveland. But I don't think so.
Are you participating at all? Like, are you...
I'm on the air. Me and Colleen Wolfe.
Let's go.
Yeah, me and Colleen are set up. We're in for hours.
I cannot wait.
I got my snowsuit. I'm ready, buddy.
Your chicken wings. You're going to be good.
I'll wait. That is going to be awesome. But to me, the biggest show this weekend is happening in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
This home playoff game for the Lions, first time in 30 years, has been the biggest storyline. But I love the dynamics of the interpersonal relationships between all the different personalities involved. Remember this. Sean McVay comes to Los Angeles, and as he's interviewing for the job, the Los Angeles Rams president, Kevin Demoff, said, hey, before we offer you the gig, I kind of want you to meet Jared. Can you meet Jared?
Okay.
So they didn't have the job yet. McVay goes and meets Jared Goff and calls up Demoff afterwards and is like, I want it. I'm in. I love this kid, and I watched all his film, and I can do this. We can do this together. Comes to L.A., he's working with Jared Goff, and they have success right out of the gates. They go to the playoffs. They go to the Super Bowl the next year. It's all going great. And then Matthew Stafford is available, and they say, okay, enough with Jared. Move on to Stafford. And they win a Super Bowl. You can't write this stuff. This is Shakespearean, because guess who's playing together this weekend? Sean McVay versus Jared Goff. And Jared Goff has a final chance to look at Sean McVay right in the eyes and say, I didn't win the Super Bowl, but I got you. I got you.
Okay.
I beat you. I ended your season. And he could have one last laugh as well. They were asked about it this week. Take a listen to the tones. I think everyone's playing nice, but I have to think there's some edge for Jared Goff.
Yeah, Sean and I are good. I think he's a great coach. I think he's, obviously we had our differences there at the end, but he's a great coach. He's done a lot of great things, and he's a guy that taught me a lot.
He's done a great job for them. I mean, they're one of the top offenses the last couple years. He's a really good player. He did a lot of really good things here, for the 4 years that we were together. He deserved better than the way that it all went down. I'll acknowledge that, and I think he knows that too. And and I'm not afraid to admit to those things. But I think we're all better, being able to look back on those things. And I do have more appreciation for him as time goes on.
It was messy. It wasn't ideal. How it went down was a little messy in that it was so public, and Stafford was at the same hotel in Cabo as McVay, and I was here on this table giggling about how crazy this is and what an amazing... There was a player in Jared Goff that had taken the team to the Super Bowl 2 years earlier, and he was just discarded. He is now the home quarterback. McVay and his new beau, Matthew Stafford, are coming back. I didn't even talk about the Stafford to Detroit storyline because I think that's secondary to McVay and Goff.
Interesting.
Before the game... Do they talk? Before the game, does Goff come in and give a big hug, or has Goff got that edge that we've seen this season and say, you know what? Buzz off, dude. Like, these two guys, McVay came to L.A., he inherited Jared Goff from Jeff Fisher in that group. They went to great heights, but they didn't get to the highest of highs. And now, as a discarded quarterback, Jared Goff has a chance to get a one-up on McVay. I think this is great, Peter. I'm here for it. I can't wait for this game. I think it's the best game of the weekend.
Interesting.
And these two players, the Stafford stuff, that's for sentimental reasons, and, videos and all that stuff. This is like psychological warfare. Coach versus player, and then coach who said, sorry, pal, you're not good enough for me. I don't know. I'm here for it.
My favorite quote beyond Goff and McVay and everything they said, just Jared Goff look at McVay and say, buzz off, dude. That was my favorite.
Imagine that's an actual
Scram, bro.
Just walks over to him, McVay. Jared,
buzz off.
I got a game to go play.
Peter, the Stafford line stuff is pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's
good.
pretty awesome.
It's good. I can't win in this city.
Yeah,
it's good.
I know.
But I'm with you. The messiness I love of everything that went down between Goff, McVay, the whole thing on everything, how it all unraveled. But I look at the Eagles, and you say messy, and you look at everything that's transpired with them to close out the season, losing to the Cardinals, losing to the Giants. There's rumors now that Belichick is stepping down and being forced out of New England. Now, all right, he's going to take the Eagles job because Sirianni's going to lose this game, and there's so much going on. And in the midst of all of it is their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who got injured last week in the game against the Giants. What is his health status going to be? That's the storyline for me because this game doesn't take place till Monday. So, yes, we're watching watching football all day, Saturday and Sunday, but Eagles fans are watching eagerly to find out everything that is going on with their quarterback. He was at practice yesterday, didn't throw the ball at all. He's handing it off, watching Mariota do the drills and everything of that nature. I want to know what's going on with Jalen Hurts, because you're wondering, all right, the game ended Sunday. He got his finger hurt. He went back in the game, so surely he was going to be okay. But then after practice, they talked to him, and here's what he had to say about his finger and his injury.
Obviously, leaving that game and attempting to go back in that game probably wasn't physically the best idea. Not having much control over the things that I want to do. But time will tell with that, and I can assure you everything's progressing in the right way.
Now, this guy, everything about Jalen Hurts, he's one of the toughest dudes in the NFL. When you have an injury on a finger of the hand that you throw the football with, this goes beyond toughness. There's ability that you can do something or that you can't do something. So I'm watching this throughout the course of the week to see what Jalen Hurts' status is going to be, because we watched Marcus Mariota come in that game against the New York Giants. The first play he came in, Xavier McKinney had an interception. So for this Eagles football team, do they feel confident that if Jalen Hurts can't go, if he can't even play like himself and be able to get the ball down the field, can Marcus Mariota carry this football team? There's so much going on around the Eagles team. It's just like A.J. Brown got injured, and now you're adding Jalen Hurts to the mix. Dallas Goedert was saying they lost their last two games because they overlooked the two opponents that they had in the Cardinals and the Giants. And Sirianni came out and was like, no, I don't think that's the case. I'm watching these guys work hard. So much going on within that building, and you top it all off, it's the health of the starting quarterback.
Can I ask you, Jason,
Yeah.
because this guy on X, YB Metro, it's a great tweet. It says, A.J. Brown isn't practicing. Hurts hasn't thrown since Sunday. Jordan Davis can't stay fit. Bradbury's cooked. Now Sirianni can't coach. Is it time to grab the dog mask? Does it feel like that, or is it? Or are they cooked? Is it just like, do they have that in them this year, where nobody believes in us and we can do it? Or
I haven't seen that, but if you're in that Eagles room, you're grabbing and clinging on to a dog mask, Grinch, anything, any mask you can find to try to get some mojo going, you're rolling to that. But right now, you've watched them over the last several weeks, and you just can't recognize the same Eagles team.
The tone is totally different.
It is different.
The dog mask thing was Carson Wentz had gotten hurt, and we have a Nick Foles backup quarterback, and so no one believes in us, and we're underdogs. Like, this is like they're falling apart and they're hurt, and like it's all feels toxic for them. If they lose this game in Tampa, like the fallout is going to be brutal. But never mind that for a second. Let's go to this weekend. I just have so many questions and so much interest in Chiefs-Dolphins. I think there's a million things going on here with these two teams. Is Pacheco the Chiefs' most reliable weapon now? Does the game go through that guy? Like, should they try to get him 25 carries? Does Travis Kelce re-announce himself? He hasn't dominated in 2 months. Is Travis Kelce hurt? Are we going to find out after the season he wasn't himself? If they lose this game somehow and Kelce doesn't play well, what was this season? There's going to be some takes, and it's not going to be all on the field after Kelce. Mostert, Waddle, are they going to play? Raheem Mostert has 21 touchdowns and is looked at as this afterthought. He's like, oh, H-Chat. Mostert does things that no one else is doing. He has guided this team all year long. They need Mosterts. There's all kinds of, not to mention, guys, the high this weekend in Kansas City, Missouri is -1. I mean, this is not your standard, well, it's cold, who's going to be sleeveless, who's going to be shirtless? Like, this is problematic cold. Can Tua show up and play in that? It's a guy who's from Hawaii who plays in Miami. Like, is he ready for that? I don't want to accuse him of anything. This is the biggest game of his life. He's never played in a game this big. He's never played in a game this cold. How does he show up? The weather's going to be really fun to watch as a fan. Speaking of watching as a fan, this game is on Peacock, and there are so many takes, and there are so many reactions. For me personally, like, we watch Peacock at home all the time. I don't work for Peacock. I have no loyalty.
Tell me about Peacock.
Oh, I mean, like, you have a smart TV, guys. If you have purchased a television in the last 6 years, there is a menu. It's like Amazon, Peacock, blah, blah, blah. You go over to the bird with all the colors, and you click on it. Oh, I don't subscribe. Well, crap, you got to subscribe. Brooke's always banging out episodes of Modern Family. She watches Peacock. It's what we do. I'm all caught up on La Brea. Like, I'm La Brea. I'm a big
last
La Brea
season,
guy.
big
No
season.
spoilers. I know, it's the
Last
final
season.
My point is, like, it's going to be a fantastic football media collision.
Yeah.
It's going to be a generational discussion. I saw just right on cue Tony Kornheiser's yesterday on ESPN. I don't get it. How do I do it? I love you. I love all of that. My mom is already asking me. My kid knows.
She's a big Will Trent fan.
Loves Will Trent. Loves it. So there's media stuff. There's football stuff. There's weather stuff. and there's just massive stakes stuff. Wow, if the Chiefs lose this game, damn. If the Dolphins win this game, what a win. And this is my favorite game of the weekend, Chiefs-Dolphins, and I'll be there on Peacock, which doesn't have a nickname. It's just Peacock, trust me. Go ahead, Jamie.
All of the Desperate Housewives are on Peacock as well,
Yeah,
I believe.
they got 'em.
So like it touches all the bases.
Real
if
Housewives.
you-
Desperate. They're
Excuse
over
me,
on
my
ABC.
mistake.
So
The real
close.
ones. The real ones.
The real
Desperate
ones.
Housewives is a
Real
good show.
Desperate
They got the
Real
Housewives?
ones. The real ones
It's
are
like
on
when Michael
Peacock.
Jackson got the Beatles catalog. How did you
The
pull
real
that
ones,
off?
the real
They got
ones.
it.
There are 2 playoff games being played in the state of Texas. We got the Texans on Saturday
Uh-huh.
and then the Dallas Cowboys. What is up with the Tyreek Kansas City thread, the Goff LA thread, Mike McCarthy Green Bay Packers thread? Like, let's go there. It's the Dak Prescott. Are you the MVP? It's the CD Lamb. Where did you come from? We never saw this happening. Dallas Cowboys. What's happened to you in the last 2 Januaries that makes this team any different? How about Jair Alexander? You've only played 7 games this year. Are you the corner that's going to lock down CD Lamb? You hurt your ankle on Wednesday. Apparently, he had some freak accident at practice where he just rolled up on somebody else's ankle. Everyone should be staying 5 feet away from each other during the playoff practices, all right? Jair Alexander didn't practice on Thursday, so there's a question mark. If the Packers go to Dallas, like similar to if the Eagles lose this game, it's going to be messy. Is it going to be equally as messy in Dallas if the Packers go to Dallas and hand Mike McCarthy another January playoff
It'll be
loss
messier.
at the hands of the team that he left to go to Dallas with? I feel like this game maybe being overlooked because the Packers, they won their last 3 games of the season, but the nature of those wins were, against teams that were struggling, in the Panthers and the Vikings and the Bears. It's just the Cowboys not being able to fare well against the Packers. I'm not quite sure about that.
Well, I don't know if there's a hotter quarterback right now than Love going to the playoffs. Like, he could probably pull up some stats and stuff, but he is completely on fire. I mean, Dak's been good too, but the Packers, I don't know what the line is or anything like that, but they're not some rollover in any way.
No.
LaFleur's been there. Love is playing great. Like, that one would be massive.
Can you imagine?
I have imagined it.
Monday show.
I know.
I know.
Monday show